In this second sequence, Charlotte is going to demonstrate a modification of a yoga posture called the bridge. This we call the core lift bridge, and again, it's designed for safety and therapeutic intent for people with low bone mass, or actually people with even normal bone or osteoporosis. It is one of the prime back strengthening postures in yoga. Charlotte is lying on her back with her hips and knees bent, her feet resting on the foot triangle support, which is the heels, the outer border of the feet, and the ball of the foot, so that she can wiggle her toes. Her arms are turned up away from the sides of the body about 30 to 45 degrees, or roughly halfway between the hips and the shoulders. Her neck is in neutral. She has a slight arch in her neck to help protect the cervical vertebrae. To begin this posture, Charlotte is going to breathe in, and as she breathes out, she lengthens through the collarbones, presses the shoulders down toward the floor, and lifts the breastbone very slightly up toward the ceiling. She tightens through the core, what I call the soda can, tightening up the abdominal muscles, the pelvic floor, the muscles of the trunk. She feels the weight on her feet, takes a breath, and as she breathes out, presses into her feet and lifts her hips up to a point where if we were to draw a straight line between her shoulders and her knees, the hips would reach that point. She then bungee cords her rib cage and her pelvis together so that she's not flaring her ribs. She holds this position for a few seconds, up to maybe 2 or 3 minutes or more, depending upon her endurance and what she wants to do in this particular posture. To maintain focus, continue to focus on the breath, and then go back and revisit the details of the body alignment. She's pressing her shoulders back, she's pressing with her feet, she's actively lifting with the hips, and she's consciously keeping her cervical spine in neutral. She then takes a breath in, and as she breathes out to come down out of the posture, she lengthens through her back as if to touch the tailbone down to the floor first, thus avoiding bending or flexing the spine. The guidelines for this posture are to lift only as high as you can without cramping or pain. Sometimes pain or cramps occur in the hamstring muscles behind the thighs. And then, if the cramp persists, you have to come quickly down out of the posture, which could be unsafe. So you want to make sure that you lift no higher than you can without cramping or pain. If you have any back pain or discomfort after the posture, you can relieve that by doing a leg lengthener exercise that we showed in the first video. When a person does the bridging posture, it's important that when the hips and the knees are bent, that the knees are about hip distance apart. And some people will tend to bring the knees apart as they come up into the bridge. To avoid that, you can use a yoga block or a folded towel that you place between the knees so that you hold the block in place while you're doing the movement to keep the knees in alignment with the hips.